So I decided to make this lesson bite-size. That means I'm not going to do anything except what I'm showing you tonight. We're talking about principal parts of verbs. In English, we've got three parts. For example, do, did, done. We call those principal parts. Sing, sang, sung. So, in Greek, you've got 6 principal parts. Now, this is a little tricky. I'm going to show you the 6 principal parts, but I don't want you to think, remember, they're called principal parts, not exhaustive parts, principal parts. That means if you've got these 6 principal parts down, you can tackle the rest of the verbs because it's these principal parts that you're going to essentially build around. We're going to use the verb in its base form, well, actually in the present, paiduo, which can mean to learn. It can also mean educate. So let's go to the tablet here. First principal part, paiduo. And that is first person singular, present, indicative, active, which would be I am educating or I educate. All right? And if we were, which I will probably do in the next lesson, I will conjugate the whole thing for you. I just didn't want to do it tonight. I said bite size, right? This is all we're doing. 6 principal parts and my explanation, and that's all. Because I do realize that a lot of people are saying, well, you're going too fast. Okay, well, it gives you time. I'm slowing down. I heard you. See, I listen. All right? All right, second part here, paiduso, which is first person singular, future, indicative, active, which is I shall educate, or I shall be educated. You could even do that, right? Now, this is where it gets interesting. I wrote for the third part here. I want you to take a look at this. Third principal part, I want you to take a look at how it starts. It's got an E. It's got an E right there, right? So if we're talking about something in the past, this is a help for you to recognize when you're looking at the Greek, you'll often find that is putting it most of the time in the past. So this would be translating equivalent to I educated. Let's go down to the fourth one. And I want you to notice what's interesting about this. You've got pe and peduca, all right? Peduca. So here it would be, and I didn't write out what it is, so forgive me. This would be perfect, first person singular, perfect, indicative, and active. And I don't know why I did this. I started by writing indicative down the road. I usually, when I morphologically tag things, I start with indicative, but it's okay. There's no rule about that. So this, let's get back to blue. This, I have educated. All right, so we're talking about, remember, the perfect, and indicative is, remember, factual, factive, and active. All right, number 5, you've got again p and paiduomai. So this, let's go back to the red. This will be first person, singular, perfect, indicative, and passive. There's the difference between the two, passive. And this is I have been educated. Last on the list here, again, here's your hint. That E at the front should make this aorist. So we've got first person, singular, aorist, indicative, and passive. Let's go down here. This would be I was educated. All right. So what do you do with this? These are your principal parts. Just as I said, think English, go back to the English for a second. Do, did, done. Now those are the 3 principal parts in English, but are there other ways, more complex approaches in the grammar in the English? Yes. We would have to add helping words to elaborate or to expand upon. But the principal parts here basically describe, we'll call them, the basics that you need. So here is what happens, and I will do a better job next week because I will give you the full-blown everything. But if you were going to do, for this line right here, which is this first present indicative active, I'm going to show you what the endings will look like. This would be in the singular, this would be plural, and then we'd go first, second, third person, first, second, third, plural. So the endings look like this, and in the plural, they look like this. Omen, it. Wow, that's pretty bad the way I just did that. Sorry, I just butchered some letters. Or, that's English. You never know with me. All right. So these could go either way. I will elaborate more. But what's interesting is that the present indicative active and the future indicative active actually share the same endings. And I'll explain next week why that is and how you can distinguish between the two. But I will show you what the endings for the aorist indicative active look like. And I'm not going to write 1, 2, 3. I'm just going to put them in columns because, as I said, next week I will write them out in their entirety for you. But you can see here, I'm going to put this in brackets, and I will explain the this in brackets, which also this could be in brackets, I guess, as an ending may or may not appear on the end. There's a rule to that, which I won't get into now. I'm just wanting to just show you a little bit of the endings that happen here. So this is your singular, and that's plural. For the perfect indicative, I think they are the same. They're all the same except for this last one. So for the perfect indicative, the only one that changes is this last one. The last one would be the third person plural, and it may look like this as an ending. Down here, for the perfect indicative passive. This is why I told you bite size. This is all we're doing because it's still a lot. Mai, sai, tai as endings 1, 2, and 3. And for the plural, metha, c'était, and utai. Last but not least, down here at the bottom, because I'll give you the endings so you can just at least familiarize yourself so that next week when we tackle this, you'll say, yep, I remember. I've memorized them all. Yes, my sense of humor is still good. All right. And the last one down here is isen. So those would be, I know if you're trying to read this at home, it probably looks like, it's all squished down your little TV or your screen somewhere. But you get an idea that, yes, there are infinitely more verbs that we're going to look at, but these are the principal parts. So if you learn the endings, and as I said, we'll go through the conjugation using the same verb, so we're constantly using the same verb. We'll do the whole paradigm. You will see how it's not that difficult. The endings actually, believe it or not, you'll get familiar with them, and then you'll say, well, it's not that bad. There are languages that are infinitely worse when it comes to the endings, I can tell you. So at least this pattern remains somewhat the same as you go through the principal parts. So it's not, right now, I'm just introducing this. Next week we will basically conjugate the whole thing. So I will go through the first person, singular, present, indicative, active, and we'll go through conjugating the whole thing. Wow, it's like reading the dictionary. But it will show you what it looks like.